Well, the day is coming soon when there's just a camera that I'm going to have to get rid of. And, I really didn't plan on this happening. I didn't really want to get rid of this camera necessarily, but I just can't justify having it, really. I know. I just got done with this live stream, about switching to Sony. And I even did a video about how I'm done with, well, I'm not getting rid of my Sony, if that's for sure. But I'm really sad to see my Panasonic just have to go bye-bye. This is a few features that I'm really going to miss from this camera. What's up, guys? And that might have been a little deceiving, I'm sorry. I hope you didn't really think I was going to get rid of my Sony camera. I am finally probably getting rid of my G85, and it's bittersweet. This was like the camera that started it all for me, watching those DSLR videos, shooter videos on how, Panasonic is just owning it in the video world. And, I gotta admit, this little camera, this light thing, had some really awesome stabilization. I'm really gonna miss that in-body stabilization. And there's another feature, though, that is just not really spoken of very often in this camera, and that is the 4K crop mode. And if you've been watching this channel, well, really ever since I started shooting regularly at the beginning of the year, you'd know that I had a lot of different product shots and different pans and tilts, and it really wasn't that hard because this camera has something inside of it called a 4K crop mode, and man, I'm really gonna miss this camera for that. It's almost worth holding on to versus getting the $500 for this camera. But I just need some more Sony glass and other goodies to have around the studio, and I just not sure I could justify keeping this right now and having two cameras, because literally the only time I ever pull this thing out anymore is to shoot B-roll, where it does save me a lot of time, but man, I just can't justify this for that. And my wife kind of agrees with me, so we'll just keep it at that. This camera has been wonderful, but it has a flip out screen, which not very many cameras do. But that 4K crop mode has been so useful for this, and it's very underrated. Sure, you could throw it in a 4K clip, on the full frame camera, and do it all in post, but that takes more editing time. Where, this literally, you choose the start box and choose the end box, and you just go, and it is sweet. It is one of my favorite features of this camera, on top of the great phone app they had for it, the flip out screen, and that in-body stabilization on this thing is a beast. So there's tons of features that make this G85 still a very great camera in 2019, and that's why it's so hard for me to let it go. But I got this awesome Sony camera that is supposed to have really good autofocus, but I'm sorry, I'm using a manual lens from Canon because I haven't got around to buying a lens yet. I've been kind of holding off for it. Anyway, if you want to know more details on why I switched to Sony, I did a live stream with two really cool guys last week, and it's on Say Park's channel. And I will put a link up in the description above here. You can just check it out. It's a pretty long video. We go over a lot of details. But the cool part was we started with a guy that's been on the Sony system since the A-mount, and move to a guy like me that just got it in the last few months. So that was just really cool video. But yeah, I mean, you really can't go wrong with cameras these days because the image quality out of them all are fantastic. It's just about choosing the limitations that, you want to go with. And I just did not want to live with no autofocus anymore. So I jumped ship to Sony. The colors look great, but I'm really, I don't know if I've said it enough today, gonna miss this 4K crop mode because it's pretty awesome. And if you don't take my word for it, just go ask the everyday dad. I mean, that guy has had like 5 GH5s, or possibly 6, a number of G85s, and his first camera was with G7, and when he experienced that 4K crop mode, his life changed forever, as did mine. Will this camera be back in my future again if I sell it? It is quite possible that if those B-roll product shots are calling my name again, and I get tired of pulling out the tripod and having them slowly pan and tilt, yeah, this camera might be my future again. Or who knows? The buyer might fall through that's supposed to be buying this today, and I might still have it. That's a short rant today, but seriously, guys, if you have not yet experienced that 4K crop mode and you are shooting in Panasonic, you should really try it out because it's pretty awesome. If you're new here, I'd love to have you. I don't shoot Panasonic anymore, I shoot Sony, but that shouldn't bother you because I do tons of gear reviews and I will be doing a lot of tutorials in the future. I'll be doing some tutorials on this A7 III once I really get comfortable with this camera. I finally set up a lot of my custom buttons today, and I guess I kind of have to now that this baby is leaving me. But once I get my Sony lens that I haven't purchased yet, I will definitely be doing some videos on this A7 III. So if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you join the community, do all those YouTube-y things, and I will see you in the future. I'm really gonna miss you, buddy. 4K crop mode.